All right, continuing with volume, we're now going to be looking at pyramids and cones. And obviously they're going to be a little bit different because now we only have one base rather than two bases. So if we were in the classroom, we would do a couple of different things. Number one, we would take a prism and a pyramid that have exactly the same base, and then we would like fill the pyramid up and see how many times it fills up into an actual prism with the same height. And what we would find out is that it would take 3 pyramids to fill up the prism. So the volume for a pyramid is going to be equal to 1/3 the volume of a prism with the same base, area, and height. So you can see that same thing is going to be true. Remember, we had a slant height, and then we actually had the height of this particular pyramid. And then we have this in here, and of course that is going to give us a right triangle, which we have multiple different ways of finding different things. So looking at this right now, what we know is that this length, the radius, is going to be 4, which that's the apothem. We don't really need that in this case. We have a length of 5 and we have a length of 8. So for here, we have 1/3. The base area is 8 times 5, which is going to be 40. And then what we don't know is the actual height. All right, so then how are we going to determine the height of this thing? So we got to figure out that length right there. All right, so what we're going to find out is that if we took this, we did 4 and 5 and 6, we're going to find out that the height is going to be actually 6, because that is the length of OP. So then we have 1/3 of 240, which is going to give me 80. So the answer to the volume would be 80 units cubed. Not much difference for a cone, and same thing would be true if we filled up the cone and did a cylinder with the same base area and the same height. It would also be 1/3. Of course, the base area is always going to be a circle. Area is pi r squared times the height. So we're given that information here. All right, so here we're given the slant height, which is 25. We don't know the actual height, which is what we have to find. And then we have this length right here, which we know is going to be half of 14, or 7. So doing this, if you remember, it's Pythagorean theorem, but if you remember, that's a triple. So h is going to be equal to 24. So then it's really pretty simple. It'll be 1/3. The radius we know is going to be 7, so that's going to be 7 squared. And then our height is going to be 24. So we got 1/3 times 3.14 times 49 times 24. And if you multiply that all out together, you're going to get 1,230.88. But we have half of the cone, so we need to find half the volume. So divide that by 2, 615.44. Pyramids and cones volume, very similar in nature. Remember, you're still going to have different information given to you, which will lead you to some type of a right triangle. All right, good luck.